Hello and welcome. My name is Tabashima Ayede. I'm a former lawyer turned business consultant, and what I do here every single day is I try to solve business problems. Now, apologies because I'm not using my typical recording setup, so you're going to hear some noise in the background. So I'm at home, kids are around, the wife is around, neighbors are around. So I expect to hear some noise in the background. Now, the problem that we're looking at today is a spillover from what we did in the last episode. Okay, I think I've done one episode so far for Umar. Umar is a listener of the podcast. He's a physiotherapist who is based in the northern part of the country who has issues with time management and client retention. So in the previous episode, we had gone over how there's no such thing as time management really, but it's more of self-management. And we had gone over time blocking, which is a traditional sales skill that you can use whether you are self-employed like Mr. Umar and trying to run your physiotherapy clinic by the side. It's something that we can all use anyway, not just to manage how you get leads into the business, but then also how you manage other demands on your time. Because Mr. Umar, like some of us, I suspect he's a firstborn. He didn't say so, but he's available for family. Family always calls up whenever there's a problem. So I suspect, he's in my kind of situation too, firstborn kind of thing. So, basically always on speed dial. People want your time. So we looked at how some traditional sales skills like time management could help him in his own situation. And then, so that the podcast episode wasn't going to be too long, I decided that we're going to look at the second part today, which is client retention. So that's the problem that we're trying to solve today, client retention. Now, before I go into defining client retention, I just want to mention that if you'd like to connect with me, just like Umar did, then the number to call, to send a text message to, or a WhatsApp message to is 080-6466-2140. So if you have questions, comments, or queries, reach out to me. Let's get chatting. Then, if you don't like listening to long podcast episodes, when you send me a message, ask to be joined to the WhatsApp group. I'll send you a link to the WhatsApp group. There you will get PDF summaries every single day. So it will be a summary of the episode, like today's episode is going to go up today. Now, the summary is going to be 5 pages maximum. Then it's also, it's going to be short, so you can read it within, 3 to 5 minutes. And the whole point is you have a look at this document. You get a summary of everything that was discussed and the highlights, the key takeaways, so that you can apply to your business to get your business moving and growing. Okay, so now client retention. Before we continue, let's just define client retention because there are people who are discovering this show for the first time. Now, remember, those of you who are long-time listeners and those of you who are new listeners, please bear this in mind. Whenever I define something over here on the show, I'm not going to use any academically correct or technically precise definitions. So I'm giving working, everyday, simple definitions just so that you can remember. Because I keep saying it, if something is easy to remember, it's easy to apply. If it's easy to remember, it's easy to apply, then the chances of you doing it actually increase. And that's the whole point of the podcast. It's not just for learning's sake. Let's learn a bunch of stuff. Let's internalize it. Let's go out and put it into practice, and then let's make some money. Excuse me. So, client retention. Okay, this is the idea behind client retention. You start a business, right? And we're always trying to create a customer. Because remember, Peter Drucker, that's what he says, that the purpose of a business is to create a customer. If you have a business, but there are no customers coming in, then what the hell are you doing? Just close up shop and then leave. Solve your sales problem or just leave. But there has to be customers coming in. Now, because we all know that the point of business is to bring customers in, everybody focuses on bringing customers through the door. But then we all forget that it's not just about the number of customers you bring in through the door. It's also about the number of customers you keep. So, let's say you have a retail location and in 1 year, you're able to bring 1,000 people into your store. Now, maybe for your particular, maybe for your own particular location, 1,000 people in the store might not be a bad idea. However, If those 1,000 people come in and they buy that year, but then next year, 998 of them decide not to come back to the store, you're basically starting afresh. And that is hard work because you're starting the new year thinking about how you're going to get 1,000 more people to come through your store. But then look at things this way. If you get 1,000 people to come in through your store this year, but then next year, 826 of them decide to come back, you're going to have a very sweet year because you're going to get repeat purchases from 826 people. And of course, you're still doing your marketing. So even more new people are going to come into the business. So the sweet money comes from client retention, not just when somebody buys once, but when they keep coming back again and again, when they stay with us for a certain number of time. So client retention is the goal for most businesses. So take, for instance, me. If from this podcast, I get maybe 100 clients every year, and by the way, I'm not there yet. So let's say I get 100 clients every year, but then I do a terrible job. And so next year, I'm starting afresh to look for a new 100. That's going to be pretty tough. But then if I get 100 clients this year through the podcast, and then next year, let's say 92 of them come back, then it's going to be a very sweet year because I'm starting off the year with 92 people who already know, like, and trust me, and who are looking forward to doing business with me. So client retention actually is the cocoa, is the main thing for most people, but we don't quite realize it. Now, the reason why we're bringing this up, client retention, is because for those of you who listened to the podcast episode yesterday, you remember that for Mr. Umar, excuse me, he's getting people to come in. He's getting clients to show. But the problem is, remember, he's a physiotherapist. They will do session 1 and 2. Then after that, they fade. Now that's crap. And it's crap for 2 reasons. The first reason why it is crap is because, well, first of all, physiotherapy, people need to come again and again and again until you fix the problem, for sure. So if people only come once or twice, then they disappear. They will never fully be cured. And from the point of view of a conscientious doctor like Umar, it's something that will really be choking your conscience. Excuse me. That, people are coming to your clinic and, you're not really solving the problem. Then there's also the problem of money. Whether we like it or we don't like it. If people disappear after 2 sessions, then they're not buying medicine, they're not paying bills, consultation fees are not being paid, your staff physiotherapists are not being paid. So it's a problem. Either way. Alright, so now from a traditional sales perspective, this is how we deal with issues around client retention. This is how traditionally we look at it when it comes to sales. Lots of people think you close the deal and then you rejoice. When you close the deal, rejoice. That is good. But traditionally speaking, there's still a couple of more steps that we have to pay attention to. So you close the deal. Hooray. Very good. But the next thing is we have to do a debrief. A debrief just means you're having a conversation with the customer because you're trying to figure out a few things, about the experience. So there are some motions or protocols that we would run traditionally. There's the customer success motion or customer success protocols or customer success processes or frameworks or whatever you want to call it. Then there's also the customer satisfaction framework, process, protocol, whatever. So now what's the difference between the two? Customer success just means that the customer achieve the outcome that they wanted to achieve, or were you able to help the customer achieve whatever your brand promise is? So that's customer success. Then customer satisfaction just means is the customer happy? Now the reason why we worry about this traditionally in sales is because if we don't achieve customer success and we don't achieve customer satisfaction, I'm willing to bet my left gonad that customer is not coming back again. For real. If somebody did business with you, the chief goal they wanted to hit, they didn't hit. And then on top of that, they are not even happy. Why do you think they will come back? The only reason why they will come back is if you are monopoly and there's no competition. So that's the reason why a lot of us still do business with NEPA. We don't have a choice. There is no other company. So whether we're happy or not, NEPA doesn't care. Whether we succeed or not, NEPA doesn't care. Because what's the alternative? It's not like you have 50 million naira to go and build yourself a, substation or whatever in your backyard with solar and all that. So for the rest of us, we have to worry about these sorts of things: customer success and then customer satisfaction. Were they able to achieve whatever it is that they set out to achieve, or did we help them to achieve the brand promise? Then customer satisfaction, are they happy? So for Mr. Umar, a debrief would involve, did the back pain go away? Or are your muscles stronger? Or can you walk now without a cane? Or what else? I'm just freestyling. I'm not sure what kind of problems that physiotherapists solve. Or, are you able to talk fluidly now and have conversations with people? So that would be the customer success part. Then customer satisfaction. You want to make sure that the person is happy, because it's possible that the person came to you because, the back was hurting, they had a limp and they couldn't talk properly, maybe because they had a stroke. Then you do your physiotherapy thing, excuse me, and then you've cured their problem. So they're actually back in the world. They're moving, they're walking, they're talking. But then they didn't have fun, they didn't enjoy themselves. It's a problem. Chances are they might not send somebody back there because, Mr. Omar, he worked, but the problem is he's rude, or the problem is he's late, or the problem is he's this, the problem is he's that. These are the kinds of things that affect whether people are going to come back again. So remember, customer success, customer satisfaction. The reason why these things are important is because we're looking at repeat business and we're looking at referrals. We want people to buy from us again and again and again. And then we want people to send their friends and their family members and their associates. So that is one set of protocols that we do now: customer success, customer satisfaction. Now, you remember I said debrief. When we do debrief, it's one-on-one. That means the person is in your office, you guys are chatting. Or you pick up the phone, you call the person, you guys are chatting. Or you're sending WhatsApp messages back and forth, you guys are chatting. Or you're sending emails and you guys are chatting. But either way, it's a conversation that is geared around, are you happy now? The problem you're trying to fix, is it done now? So that's it. Then, for client retention in sales, we also look at customer service protocols. Now, customer service protocols, okay, let me put it this way. Let me just use the Niger definition. If you want to define customer service in an Oyibo sense, the definition is big. But in Niger, customer service just means Yawa has gas. It means there's a big problem. It means the customer, they vex. It means something is going on. It means there's a problem. We now have to solve this problem. So you also need customer service protocols in your business. Something has gone wrong. The customer is not happy. Somebody is in charge of trying to figure out what's the problem, what went wrong, why are they shouting, why are they quarreling, blah, blah, blah. So I hope you guys are beginning to see now how we can improve our, how will I put it now, our financial baseline in our businesses once we have some of these things in place. And remember, this is all from a traditional sales perspective. We're trying to get repeat business and referrals. So, Mr. Umar, you need to be implementing these sorts of things in your business. So it's not just enough that you close the deal and somebody has come for the first session. It would be nice to be having debrief sessions with people. Somebody comes for session 1 today, they go back home. They're supposed to come back next week, Wednesday. It might not be a bad idea if you call them up on Tuesday, say how far, and then you talk a bit. These are the chances. These are the things that increase the chances that people are going to come back for the next session on Thursday, and the Thursday after that, and the Thursday after that, and the Thursday after that. So you've closed the deal, yes. Then your clinic, yes. But we have to be doing a debrief. Customer success. Are we achieving our goals? Customer satisfaction. Are they happy? Customer service protocols. Oh, they don't vex. There's a problem. We need to figure it out. Because we want them to come back and finish their sessions. And by the time we're done rehabilitating these people with our physiotherapy services, we want them to sing our praises so that anywhere they hear anything, anybody complain of neck pain, back pain, I had Okada accident, my leg is broken, blah, blah, blah. We want them to say, Dr. Umar. After God, not Dr. Umar. That's the kind of thing we want people to say. So we need to apply that for our business. And then let's see how we can increase those numbers to make sure that it's not just after 1 or 2 sessions, people now fade. There's no 100% too. We'll try our luck. We'll try our best. So, but there will never be 100%. There's nobody in any business. There's no physiotherapist that, you have, let's say 20 customers coming in a month or in a year and all of them complete their session. It will never be 100%. But if you can increase it from people fading after session 12, for instance, it's not bad. You'll make more money, and you also increase the likelihood that whatever gains you have made in trying to fix these people. Sorry, that's not a nice way to say it. Fix. Should I say fix? Cure. Whatever it is you try to do to cure these people, that it will take. So, client retention is a big deal. Whether you're a physiotherapist or you're not a physiotherapist, you should be thinking about these sorts of things. So, Mr. Umar, these are some of the things you should be learning. These are some of the things you should be researching. And these are some of the things you ought to be applying in your businesses. So that, from 2 sessions, at least, we'll go up small. If we enter 6, 8 sessions, go bad. So we'll just try our luck. But also, be kind on yourself. Nobody hits 100%. Let's just try. And let's start working. Let's see what we can do. So I also did some research because I am not a physiotherapist. As you guys can tell, I'm a former lawyer and I've done some stuff in media productions and alternative dispute resolution and export, but I've not done physiotherapy. So I'd go and do some research to try and find out, what's up with that kind of business. So from what I found, it looks like when people disappear after 1 or 2 sessions, sometimes it's not just how will I put it now? Okay, there are issues around expectations and then how people perceive value. So it looks like in Nigeria, lots of people stop coming early because you do physiotherapy and then the pain will reduce small. And then after that, because the pain is cut in half, they can manage and so they won't come back again because of the out-of-pocket expenses that are involved. Because, you enter transport or you look for somebody who will drive you and then stuff like that. And then long waiting times in the hospital. And to be honest, the long waiting time, that's the one that used to vex me the most. You want to take your kids to the hospital and you have to budget that you'll be in the hospital from 8 o'clock in the morning until like around that kind of 5:30. The day is just wasted. You don't do anything. So these are some of the issues that are involved in medical businesses and in physiotherapy businesses. So Mr. Omar, this is just to also give you some perspective. So it might not be that, now you the effort you get. It might not be your own fault 100%. So these are some of the issues that are involved. In fact, I can even speak to this firsthand because last time I went to go and see the doctor, that's for those of you who listen, the time I thought I was dying of diabetes, the time I thought they were going to cut off my legs. And it turned out that was not diabetes at all. The doctor says something, fasciitis, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure something you, Mr. Omar, know about. So they gave me some kind rub that I should be rubbing on my leg. And then they also gave me some medicines. And once I took it, the pain went away completely. So I have my 2 legs. You guys will be happy to know that, they haven't cut off any leg. They won't cut off my legs in Jesus' name. Oh, and then also I don't have diabetes. And the medicine lasted for, I think, 1 month. But then after 1 month now, the pain came back. But this time when it came back, it's not really a big deal, I can walk, I can run, I can jump, I can go to the gym, no problem. Let me just manage. So today when I had to take my son to the hospital because he had an accident with his tooth last night, we were just playing, next thing, blood everywhere. So took him to see the doctor. The doctor was just looking at me, giving me side eye. I pretended as if I don't know the guy. And then when I'm ready for him, I'll go back. I'm sure the guy was looking at me like, I know this guy. But anyway, where was I? All right, so Mr. Omar, maybe it's not as if now you're the effort, but these are some of the things that are involved. So you have to do a lot of education when you're talking to people, and you also have to plan out a roadmap when you're talking to people. So roadmap just means, how do I put it now? Roadmap. What will I say is roadmap now? Roadmap is when you're having an intervention with a client, whether you're a physiotherapist or whether you're a sales consultant or whether you sell solar or whether you do software development. The idea of a roadmap is there are several stages that we expect this engagement to go through. Where at this stage, we're going to move to this stage, we're going to move to that stage. So that is something that lots of us should be doing in our businesses. We should have in our mind or even written down a roadmap. This is how things are going to go. And we should be educating people accordingly. Where at this stage, this is what we hope to achieve. And then realistically, if we finish by this stage, we can move on to the next stage and the next stage and the next. So you need to create a recovery roadmap for your patients, Mr. Umar, and then you'll be talking to people as we go along. Okay, this is session 1, blah, blah, blah. This is what we hope to achieve. This and this and this. We'll see this kind of sign, we'll see that kind of sign, but the journey is not complete yet. You still come back again next Tuesday. For next Tuesday, this is what we're going to work on. And if we work on that, we should hope to achieve this, we should hope to achieve that. And, so you're always with people. So you see, so Mr. Omar, these are the things. They show up for the session. Education, walk them through the roadmap. You finish the session on Monday. Just call them again on Wednesday, 2 days later, or maybe even the next day itself, and then debrief. The whole idea. Are they happy? Is there any problem? Are we making progress? So you start doing this small by small by small. Hopefully, people should not disappear after 2 sessions. Maybe from 2, we'll enter 8. From 8, we'll enter 12, small by small by small. But again, nobody achieves 100%. So don't be disappointed in yourself if you start implementing these things and you don't get to 100%. So that's how you just have a roadmap. So now, since I'm not a professional physiotherapist, this is me freestyling now. So please, Mr. Omar, don't take what I say as gospel truth. Now, freestyle, I freestyle. I'm just making things up now. So you can tell them, welcome. This is our first session. These first 2 weeks, session 1, session 2. This week, Thursday, next week, Thursday. Our focus now on just pain relief. So, mommy, daddy, the focus of this week and next week is just pain relief. If you do a good job, the pain should come down small. But mommy, because the pain come down doesn't mean the job is done. Because mommy, there's other things that are involved. Apart from pain, mommy, we also have to look at mobility. Then, if the patient is also there with their ward, with their son or daughter, you also be addressing to son as well. So as you're talking to mommy, you also tell the woman's son. You say, Oga, you understand what I'm saying, ba? This is very, very important to help me explain to mommy. Because some people, when we finish session 1 and 2 and the pain is gone, they won't come back again. So apart from pain, mommy, next thing is mobility. Mobility just means everything should be moving nice. Everything should be moving smooth. This thing that is crooked, we suppose straighten up. Then you explain to the son. So, Oga, you understand, right? This thing is really, really important. If we don't do mobility, if we don't straighten this thing, if we don't fix this one, this will cause complication like this, blah, 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 or whatnot. So that one now is session 3 and 5. So as we're entering January now, first week, second week is just pain. Then for third week, fourth week, and then until around that kind Valentine's Day, what we're going to be doing now is mobility. Let's just make this thing smooth. Let's straighten this thing. This one that has bent like this, let's make it straight. Okay. Then after that now, section 6 until session 12 is about strengthening. We need to make the muscle strong. Because if the muscle is strong, then we won't get a relapse. The problem won't happen again. So let's be doing it like that. So this is how you be educating people. Remember, education and roadmap. When they're with you in the clinic, you must be doing it. And then, of course, when you finish that call, you give them a debrief. Then, okay, we've done 24 minutes. You know what? Let me just bring it to a close now, because I don't want podcast episodes to go on for too long. So, Mr. Amaro, let's just stop here right now. We're talking about how we're going to try and communicate value during our sessions by introducing a roadmap and then educating clients. And then after we're done with that, we call them and then we debrief. We're sure that everybody is happy and that we're making progress. Now, in the next episode, so this will be a part 3, we're going to see how we can change our pricing, our pricing and our packages to get people to commit for longer sessions. Then we're also going to look at something called friction in business, because friction leads to attrition. Friction or attrition just means things we do in our business that cause people to vex or cause people to disappear or causes resistance. And so because of that, they leave. So those of us who are tired of going to a hospital and waiting, from 8 till 6 in the evening because, we want our children, to be sorted out, that is friction. Long wait is a friction. Whether we like it or not, the people who waste too much time in hospitals, they don't come back, whether it's for their benefit or not. That's the reason why Nigerians go to the pharmacists, to roadside pharmacy. Because when you go to roadside pharmacy, it's quick, it's sharp. You go there, the pharmacist knows you. He's like, Mr. Ede, how have you been? It's been a long time. How are the children? How can I help you today? You're breaking teeth. Let me see. No problem. Take antibiotic, take Panadol. Tomorrow the teeth will fall. My son, sorry. Take sweet. We're done. That's the reason why people go to roadside pharmacy. So we'll look at friction, and then let's see what else. Okay, so the next episode, we're going to look at pricing, how we change your pricing and packages, and then we'll look at how to reduce friction. Right, so Mr. Omar, that's the end of our part 2. Then the next one is going to be the part 3 and the final episode. Sorry about the audio quality. I don't have my usual recording setup. So just, as you see me, just manage the sound like this, I beg. Then for those of you listening for the first time, like, share, subscribe. If you want to connect with me, just like Mr. Umar did, then you can call me, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. If you don't like the long episodes, then ask to be joined to the WhatsApp group. You'll get the PDF summaries, 5 pages maximum. In 3 to 5 minutes, you can get the highlights, apply it to your business. We make progress and we make more money. So I'll catch you all at the next episode.